Yo, what's good, boys? We are back at it again with another MLB The Show 25 video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be doing another reviewing your guys' team video, roster review video, however you want to say it. So, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe. If you want to be in the next episode, that's one of the most common comments I get on these videos. The link is down in the description to my email. Maybe we'll do a Discord in the future. To make it a little easier for some people. But I feel like everybody has an email. Not everybody has a Discord. So, again, emails down in the description if you want to get in the next episode. So, as a baseline, just going to show my team, what I believe to be a 10 out of 10 team, depending on like what your preferences are. I think right now you got to play Soto because he's supercharged. But obviously that's not permanent. So, this is either like James Wood or Bryce Harper or Corbin Carroll or like Byron Buxton out of position. Corner outfield spots, not super deep right now. DH, you got options. If you want a full-time switch, it's probably like Candelario. If you want to do like platoon, then you got like the Bernie Jock platoon, as well as some other options. Maybe you want to do Schwarber or something like that. And then at first base, if you don't love Gil, you could go with Vlad. But I think this is pretty much the best team in the game. I think this is my choice for the best rotation. I think I would probably swap out Nate Pearson for Al Leiter, but I'm just not at World Series yet. We're getting there, but I think this would be my ideal rotation. And then this is the bullpen I've decided on. I think Devin Williams, Danny, and Felix Bautista should be in everybody's bullpen, or everybody that can afford them. And then other than that, like the rest is just kind of personal preference. So that kind of gives you guys a baseline as to what I believe the best team in the game looks like. At least right now, right before, we get our big collection on Friday and whatnot. So first team up, we have my boy Dom here, Hall of Fame player, some legend. So he hovers between like 700 and 900. Has almost 1 million stubs when the roster update hits, so he's predicting that he's about to hit. He likes Miller. I mean, if he's situational, right? If he's only seeing lefties, then yeah, but with a 3-batter minimum rule, I just don't see how you can guarantee he only sees lefties. Hate Roland, unsure about Cattell. Should you go for Seager or Castro or maybe somebody else? Ohtani's speed is good, and he likes his swing. Okay. All right, let's just start with this. So we got a mobile upload here. Okay. I mean, the outfield's, basically perfect. Like I showed, like Harper, if you like Ohtani over Harper, I could see it. Harper's just going to be way better against lefties, and I think his clutch is a lot higher. But Ohtani should play better defense with the speed, so trade-offs. Cattell at short, I'm not sure about anymore. I think that's obvious, right? I think you go get Willie Castro to play shortstop for you, or the new Derek Jeter. You got options. But then I think it's Cattell versus Brian Roberts. So whoever you're doing better with there is who you're playing at second base. And then if you don't like Scott Rowland, bench Scott Rowland. Hopefully you weren't one of these guys that like went out of your way to go get him, because I told people he was not worth going out of your way for. Go get Beltran first. And a lot of people didn't listen because they saw a 99 overall and they thought he would be Zeus. And he's really not. So if you want, you can just move Jose to third. It's not the end of the world. He's definitely not good defensively at third base. But he also won't lose you a game, and most people hit really good with J-Ram. And you have Miller, so I'm assuming you're running the Guardians boost, especially based on your bench. So you can just move J-Ram to third, and then you got DH free, and that's the easiest spot in the game to find somebody at. So let's see, pitching style. Joyce, like I said, I don't like Gagne. I think you're missing all of the big relievers. Like I said, I think Devin Williams, Felix, Danny need to be in your bullpen. Other than those three, it's personal preference. So, I mean, I sink a spot. I have Justin Martinez in my bullpen. Is he worth being in my bullpen? Probably not. But I eat that and know that he's not going to be the best option just for the Diamondbacks boost to help Cattell out a little bit. Starting staff wise, Clemens, Scuball, Nate, May, Donaldson. You're only really missing Randy. And are you really missing Randy? Some people will say no. Some people say this is by far like a good enough rotation. Some people like Dustin May more than Randy. Some people will even like this Nate Pearson more. So not a bad rotation at all. Lineup wise, he included his lineup structure, so we'll go over it. I don't think Jose's good enough to hit third. I think I'd probably push Santana up a spot, maybe Gill up a spot if you hit really good with him. And then if you're unsure about playing Cattell, I don't think he should be batting 6 for you. I think that should probably be Jason Dominguez, unless you're just the worst Jason Dominguez user in the world. But overall, really strong start. This is probably, I mean, pitching rotation's a 10, bullpen's probably an 8. Bullpen might be a 7. It's by far the weakest part of the team. And start lineup's probably like a 8.5. So I think this is like a 9. Like, it's really good. You have Beltran. I think that's the minimum requirement for having a 9. And your starting staff is really good, but your bullpen struggles. And I don't love like a lot of the starters. A lot of the starters are just kind of replacement level guys. Where like Ohtani versus lefty, are you feeling great there? Cattell without an insane inside edge because you're not running the captain boost for him. So you might as well have Jeter here, in my opinion. There's stuff you can improve on, but I think it's a 9. I think it's a really good team. All right, next team up, we've got Ortho. So stream regular, 800, 900 player. Cannot hit with Carlos or Roland. May and O'Day have been shelled. Yeah, don't mind it. Already made World Series, sold lighter. Once he comes back down, he'll replace Nate Pearson with him. Also got 160K, save up for Willie, get Harper, get Buxton. I would just wait. In terms of like buying these guys outright, because we'll probably get flash sales. That's what they like to do when big collections come out. So we'll probably have flash sales. So if you want to buy them, I would just buy them whenever that happens. Gill, Brian, Jeter, Seager. It's a really solid starting lineup. And then I imagine he's doing some platoon of like Jock and Bernie or like Jock and Bo Bichette, something like that. So definitely not bad. Really, you don't have Buxton? That's crazy. You've got Yasmani and Jock in that Buxton. I guess you just haven't taken the plunge on like Heimer or Bo Bichette. Bullpen, let's just start in staff first. Rogers, Scuball, Randy, John, Nate. I mean, it's pretty much perfect. If this is your preferred rotation, it's perfect. If you'd rather have like Dustin May or go get the new lighter, I think that's best case. And you said you are minimum Hall of Fame, a good amount on Legend. So I mean, if you're playing like your weekend classic games on Legend, I think lighter should dominate Nate Pearson. From what I saw from Pearson, I didn't love him. So let's go bullpen real quick. So he's got the 3-headed monster going on. He's got Danny, he's got Devin, he's got Felix. I like Weaver. I don't love Munoz. I feel like if you have Munoz and Joyce, then like it's the same look. But like Munoz's bars are just so miserable, dude. Like I don't know. But like I said, it's just personal preference. In my opinion, that's no bullpen in the game really is like a 10 out of 10 right now because there's just not enough good relievers. But the best available, it's a 10. So that's a 10. I think the lineup's probably like a 9.5. Like, I don't really know about Shohei, and like Yasmani's just worse than Carlos, so maybe try to thug it out. But I'm pretty sure in stream you said you hit like 400 with Grandal, so at that point I just probably wouldn't even worry about it. I mean, other than Willie Castro, like no Willie Castro. Um, Probably a 9.5 to be honest. I think Willie Castro is just unreal. Let's see. Structure wise, I don't understand how they mess up the inside edge with Otani multiple years in a row, where like the supercharge with him works, but the inside edge he just gets boosted as a pitcher every day, even though he hasn't pitched in like 2 years. So yeah, no, you'd like to see that get figured out. Jeter second. Yeah, I mean you're pretty limited. Like I said, I like having a switch hitter second, and kind of a fast one. So your only real option would be Brian or Jason, but since they're batting 8 and 9 in your lineup, I feel like you're not super comfortable with them. So, um, yeah, I'd probably just keep rocking with what you've got. Um, Team rating. That's what, like a 10, and like a 9.5. So it's like a 9.8. It's pretty much as good as you can be without having Willie Castro. All right, next up we got Kaden. He's in the stream all the time. I don't think I've seen this team before, so I'm interested. Like trying in with Eckersley. Well, you got wows for that. You got at least two multiplayer updates for that. So I wouldn't plan on that happening anytime soon. 450k. Okay, 450k, and he's got Willie Castro. So like we got options. Ryan Reynolds out of position's interesting. I mean, that's probably the best way to go about running that outfield because Jason's going to be miserable in right field. And, none of them are necessarily good enough to be a plus center fielder other than Corbin Carroll. So that's probably the best way to go about doing that. All that really stands out is I don't think this is the strongest outfield in the world. I think this is like the definition of like an 8.5 outfield. But it's hard without Beltran, obviously. Piazza and Paredes, like I think Piazza was really good and like he got the Chase Utley treatment, which if you're new to the channel and you haven't heard me talk about it, the Chase Utley treatment is a card would be really good if right when they dropped them there wasn't a ton of counters to the card and just better alternatives. So like every time Chase Utley comes out, like a couple days later they drop Randy Johnson and John Donaldson. And then like a week after that, they start to drop all these OP second basemen and everybody gets a free Brian Roberts. That's kind of the way Piazza went, where there was like no good righties, and then bang, Dustin May, and Nate Pearson. So you got to worry about inside sinkers the whole time. And then there's Yasmani, there's Posada, there's Carlos. There's just a million switch hitting catcher options that are just going to be better than what Piazza does for you. So I think he's probably the 4th or 5th best catcher at this point, depending on how you feel about Schwarber. And then Isaac Paredes, I would not be running at first base. Some people do really enjoy his swing, but for me personally, if you've already got Jock Peterson, I'd probably just lock in for Yasmani. Wouldn't cost you that much. And then first base. So like a non-collection first baseman. I mean, Vlad, obviously, you said you had a 400k budget, but I don't. If you end up deciding that you do want to do the pipeline collection, for like the collection on Friday, then maybe you should have a conversation about if you want to buy Vlad for a little more and make the collection more expensive, and just have him to play first base for next like month, 2 months, as opposed to like just buying Schwarber, which is going to be the cheaper option, but is more so like you're moving laterally. So that's something to think about. Like you could get Vlad, right? You could get Vlad, and you could get Corey Seager to play third base, and then J-Ram can just DH for you. So it's something to think about. Like I said, I'd probably wait until the flash sales on Friday, and try to make something happen. I'm sure they'll give out like chase packs or something, like chase choice packs, And I think Vlad is the most expensive chase card other than Willie Castro. So a good amount of people will probably choose that pack, or if it's like a random assignment pack, then Vlad will go down, or like people will sell their Vlad to get stubs to use on the flash sale offers. So look to get Vlad. If you can get Vlad for like 200k and do the pipeline collection to get Seager, I think that's something you could seriously consider. And starting wise, the usual suspects. So obviously you want to upgrade this Outlighter. If you still have Outlighter, have not a doubt in the world you'll love the 95. So yeah, just upgrade lighter. And then bullpen wise, it's a little shabby. You have Danny, who's probably the best reliever. But I would, I'd look to get Felix instead of Gagne. Felix is just way better Gagne. And then, Soto, if you're good with this pinpoint, like I think he's pretty solid. But if you suck with this pinpoint, obviously you probably shouldn't be in your bullpen. So, think of Felix if he gets really cheap on like a flash sale, or Devin Williams for sure. Or like I said, think about getting Vlad and then locking in for Seager. And, I think it upgrades your team a good amount. It doesn't fix your outfield by any means, but it would definitely help the infield. All right, so we've got CJ here with the Juice WRLD pick. Love the videos. Fourth time submitting, 200k. And need Ohtani for a collection. So he made 700. So don't know how much Hall of Fame you're playing then. Like, do you just get to 700 and then get stomped back down to All-Star? Or, are you scrappy on 700? Are you getting like close to World Series? So, need slightly better comms there, I would say. Loves Lindor. Yeah, I'm sure you do want an All-Star, but like, bro, like 64 clutch when you get to Hall of Fame, much less legend, maybe eventually. Not happening. All right, let's see. Pete, good free option. Think he's getting a little dated at this point, but assuming you got some parallels on him, it kind of offsets it. I'll be honest with you. There's no world where Pete Alonso is better than Anthony Santander, especially on the difficulties that you're on. Santi the first, 100%. And then if you really like Pete, I think there's a world where maybe you shuffle around your infield and put like Moncada on third, and put Brian Roberts there and just like DH Pete or DH Santi. But yeah, he's gotta be better than Pete. Maybe you're just fatigued with the card. Maybe you've used him all year. I kind of get that, but at the same time, like if you're submitting the lineup, it's for like comp purposes. Again, that's probably the best way to run that outfield. It's not bad. I don't love Yoan's swing. And defensively, at least in many seasons, that's the only way I've used him. I haven't used him in like online gameplay. He's been pretty bad defensively for me. I'd be curious what his fielding is. I know he's faster than Roberts, but I don't know if like his fielding and reaction's actually better. Yeah, I mean, I don't love Lindor. I think the new Jared Jeter's going to be better. And I don't love Vientos. You just have a lot of power guys, which isn't bad for your difficulty. But, you probably like see some more switch hitters, a little less reliant on lefties. I wouldn't be shocked if like Soto, Corbin Carroll, and Grady are like your best hitters. Although, I imagine you're not full-timing Soto here. That might be why Santander is on the bench, because you just put in Soto because he's supercharged now. But, I would not crutch lefties. It's a bad habit. Okay, bad lineup structure already. You'd be better off leading off Corbin Carroll, so at least then you have a fast leadoff hitter. So, if you hit a leadoff double and Lindor hits a pop-up, maybe you can tag the third base. And you have back-to-back lefties. So if it's a late game scenario, and I don't even know if Lindor hits lefties that good. I think he used to at the start of the year. Who knows now with all the roster updates? It's not a card I see a ton. Let's say Lindor's playing down against lefties, or like he's just not getting boosted. Like Danny Columbi, I'm not sure how you say. I still don't know how to say his last name. But Danny comes in, out, game's over, 9th inning. That's not fun. So you gotta structure your lineup a little better in this. I'd probably go Corbin Carroll like first, and then I would personally go either Yohan for more speed or Brian Roberts second, and then Juan, and then Pete, and then you can work in Lindor wherever you want to after that point. But I think a more traditionally structured lineup would be better. Where IRL, if the Mets want to lead off Lindor, it's probably pretty good because he's on base 40% of the time. But for your DD team, you probably want somebody faster up there. And then let's see, pitching wise, Zim, Clem, John, Dustin May, Scuball. So the usual suspects, with the exception of Jordan Zimmerman. This card's not going to be good on Hall of Fame. Just not, especially not All-Star. If you do creep below Hall of Fame and All-Star, this card's going to be brutal. So I'd look to go get Nate Pearson for like 20K. The outlier is just going to work better. And then bullpen wise, just lack firepower. I just look at this bullpen and they're all just kind of mid. Where like Darren O'Day's best case scenario is sitting on GOAT and shrinking people's PCIs, shrinking righties PCIs with the slider. So he's not even that good on these lower difficulties. You have some outlier guys in the pen, but then you've just got some mid in here as well. So you lack like the top end dominant pitchers. It's not super realistic for everybody to go out and spend like 80K on Felix and 30K on Danny and 35K on Devin Williams. But one or two of them would do wonders. Like, you need to have a guy in here where, it's 8th inning in a tight scenario and you can go to him and you're pretty sure he'll shut it down. Because Raleigh Fingers used to be that guy, but I feel like cards have just kind of caught up to him. And like Ursag and Ben Joyce, you're just praying they can't hit the outlier. So I think you're lacking a top end, like, dominant bullpen arm. Lineup wise, it's probably like a 7.5. We'll go 7.5. Starter wise, it's like an 8.5 because like who invited Zim? I think that brings it down a lot. Like, you could legit have 5 aces or 5 ace material pitchers if you had Nate Pearson in here for 20K. So I think that's a big misstep. And then the bullpen's like a 7. So it's a good team. It's probably like an 8 on aggregate. But I would work on some stuff for sure. All right, we're gonna have to do a name reveal for this real quick. Because I do not feel comfortable trying to even pronounce that. So shout out to my boy Sash here. Let's go ahead and re-extend that. All right, so love the videos as always, appreciate it. Gold 2 division, not sure what that is. That's what, 700, 800? I think it's 800. So he is like, he's a World Series caliber player. Shohei and Judge away from Beltran, so every sub's there. Making 100K from Diamond Quest a day. That's not too bad. A lot of those older ones have gone up, like Ottavino and stuff. It's like 20K now. So one good run of that is, I guess some of that is they patch like the GOAT method. So like, just, you can't cheese your way through it every time. You kind of have to play it legit. So, that's cool. I like that Diamond Quest is a little more fruitful for, people that actually want to grind it now instead of, bunt cheesing it. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good outfield. I don't know. I guess you run Corbin Carroll in right when Soto's not supercharged. So kind of a bad time to be doing this with such a good supercharged card that everybody's just going to be running. I mean, it's a really good team. Buxton, it's kind of like who invited Buxton, but if you hit really good with this swing and all his quirks and whatnot, then he's still pretty good. It's just the defense is pretty poor out of him. So maybe, how many you got? Two? With two lefties, you could consider putting Corbin Carroll in center field, but I think two is kind of where you want to live right now in the current meta. Don't love playing Scott, you know. You don't have Gil yet, so maybe after you get Gil, you might end up like keeping Candelario on third, or maybe, you know, you find a DH that you like. I mean, there's a world where you just play J-Ram at third and just DH Santander, and, you know, you're not really missing anything. So I don't hate it. Or you could play Corey at third. I don't know. If you're like backlining Corey like this, I think you might be one of the sick people that like Scott Rowland. So we'll see. We'll see what his lineup. Okay, no. Yeah, he's batting them fourth. Yep. Okay. Hit the nail on the head there. We saw like this exact same lineup. Oh, he's missing Judge and Shohei. Dude, that's brutal. So he doesn't have Clemens or Gill. Dang, that sucks. So Clemens will definitely help the rotation. I think he kicks... Clemens right now would kick out Leiter, but then Leiter would kick out Nate Pearson. So I think that's your route to improving the starting rotation. Bullpen... Meh, I mean, it's all right. Like, you got Danny and you got Kopech, and I really like both of them. Everybody else is just like, meh, it's whatever, which is most people's bullpen. Okay, so lineup-wise. What's the point of running him if you're going to bat him eighth, bro? Get him up. Get him up. Yeah, I mean... I think if you're going to have lefties in your lineup and they're going to be this, like, you running lefties is guaranteeing that, like, 1 out of 3 games at least, you're going to be seeing, like, John or Randy or, like, the new Leiter, and just they're going to go 1 for 4 at the best. So if you're going to run them, you might as well have them higher. So, like, those games where you do run into a Zimmerman, you do run into a May, a Pearson, or even one of these subpar righties like Bob Feller, Satchel Paige, something like that, that people like to run for some reason. Punish them. Like, run like Soto third, Santana fourth, probably Corey Seager either fifth or sixth, depends on how you want to split those up. And then, like, bro, Scott Rowland is probably one... I count 2 hitters in this lineup I would consider Scott Rowland better than. I think for some people, he'll be better than Jason Dominguez, because Jason just kind of has a weird swing for some people where they don't love him. And then Byron Buxton also tends to get jammed by, like, outlier and inside sinkers and stuff like that. I think those are the only 2 cards in your entire lineup that have an argument for Scott Rowland to be better than. And if he's just that much of an outlier for you, an anomaly, if he does hit that good, cool, bat him like 5th, 6th, but you know, get some of these lefties up in your lineup and you'll tee off on games where you actually see a righty. But it's pretty solid. You know, missing Beltran. Does have Santana, does have Willie Castro. Is this a team where it's a 9 without Beltran? Probably. Yeah, I think this is a 9. I mean, your avenues for improvement are like Gil Hodges, Beltran, Roger Clemens. I don't know why, like, I just mind blanked there. And then your bullpen. So, I mean, there's about a point of improvement worth just in going out and getting those players, but it's a pretty good team. All right, so next team up, we got Jerry. Loves the videos, makes his team better. He has, what is that? 1 million subs. I hate when people do that. I hate it, dude. It reminds me of like Madden coin accounts where like they post like need like 200 million K. And it's just like 2 mil. I platoon Corey Seager and Caminero and Bernie and Jock. Kind of stuck with the 5th spot in rotation. Don't know what to do next. Oh my lord, I was not ready to scroll down and see, bro, this is a jump scare. This is like some Five Nights at Freddy's right here. Holy shit, DJ Friedel. Who invited DJ Friedel? Um, Dog, nah, I must be sleeping. I must be sleeping. Okay, he's got pinch hitter 95, 125, 56, 92. So he's a platoon. How fast is he? This is weird. They changed how it looks. What does this even mean? Oh, yeah, I might have messed it up. That's weird. I like it, but also kind of sad that I voted wrong, or might have. He might be a bull hitter. Okay, so yeah, what? No, get him out. 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 The hitting stats, they had me in the first half. I ain't gonna lie. They had us in the first half. 50 speed in center field's not it. You gotta find somebody else. Like Corbin Carroll would blow that card out of the water. Like just go grind the Corbin Carroll. If you don't already have him, go get Corbin Carroll. There you go. Problem solved. Other than that, moving forward, lefty, 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 lefty. Jeez, man. All right, you got to diversify your lineup a little bit. You got to get some more righties in there or some more switch hitters. You said you're platooning. You said you platooned, I guess, Seager and Caminero and Bernie and Jock. So, like, that takes out some lefties for you, and I don't mind it, but, like, what's CJ Friedel doing out here? Like, even Bernie in center does not fix that, because Bernie is not a good... Yeah, you have to go get Corbin Carroll. And I'm going to hope TJ Friedel's batting, like, ninth in the lineup, too. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just go get the new lighter. Matt Strom's a little dated. You have Danny, though. I mean, yeah, there's not a ton of great lefties. Like, if you're not going to go back and get, like, the new Threads Chapman or something, there's not a ton of awesome lefties for you to go get. I don't like Hater. I don't love Goose just because his pinpoint is really unmanageable at times. And I think Dennis Santana's low-key BP. So, no Luke Weaver, so I feel like you just didn't do the last monthly program. So go run that up. Luke Weaver's just a better Dennis Santana, and you'll get Corbin Carroll. Okay, lineup structure wise, dog. Yes. Okay? If this card is batting ninth for you, what is he doing for you? Legitimately, because the only good thing about that card is the hitting stats against righties. Because he can't field anything. So you're actually trolling with that. You've also got 3 lefties in a row here, split up by 2 switch hitters, and then 2 more lefties in a row. So, I mean, you said you platoon heavy, and I get it, but you gotta get some better, like, full-time players, I think. Platoons are great, like, used sparingly. I don't think I would structure your entire lineup and bench around it, especially if there is a world where we ever get, like, better captains. Dude, I'm trying to come up with a team rating. I mean, I'll be nice and give it a 7.5 because, like, you've got some good cards. Like, you've got Yasmani and James Wood, and Junior is a pretty nice third baseman. And Bryce Harper is, in theory, really good, and Jason's really good, and the pitching staff is really good. But then you've got, like, TJ Friedel out here, and, like, the live series Corey Seager, and I get he's platooning him, but, like, at a point, certain cards got to change. You got to get TJ Friedel's, like, all right, we're done. We're done talking about TJ Friedel. All right, so next team, we got Thomas here. He said he's running a Blue Jays team, and he replaced Holiday with Hoffman. So I'm interested to see how that works. I do know what boost it gives. It's just not that crazy. Like, the clutch is pretty nice, I'll be honest. I didn't know it gave clutch. I know it gave power. So it's a weird spot where you'd probably rather run the Holiday part of the boost but you don't want to pitch Holiday. Like, you just don't. And they're both pitchers, so you can't run like both boosts. Springer, benefiting from it, Bo Bichette, Vlad, and Santander. So yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I can see how +7 power would be nice for a lot of these cards. I also don't think it really changes them. I'd be interested, like, if it makes Vlad like a balanced hitter instead of like a contact hitter, or like same goes for Bo, then I could see some value in it. I mean, I'm sure it just like maxes out Santi's power for the most part. It's interesting. I don't think it's like meta, but if you were gonna run a lot of these cards anyway, then you know, nothing wrong with the lineup structure. It's a nicely structured lineup. I think Santi ninth is crazy. But you know, like I said, like, is the Blue Jays boost really worth it when like Springer and Santander are 8 and 9 in your lineup? Like, this could be Corbin Carroll. You could have the best defensive right fielder in the game, and then first base is one of the easiest positions to find somebody else at. So if you just want to run a Blue Jays team, cool. But I'm not gonna sit here and like gas the boost. Leiter, the new Leiter's a Met, so he won't even contribute to this. Nick Sandlin. I thought I saw it was Sandillan, but maybe it's just Sandlin. In the bullpen. I mean, Nate Pearson benefiting a little. I mean, what does he even get? Like K's? Oh, okay. So he gets hits. So it does help the pitchers a little bit. Not a ton, though. Like, it's not going to make Yimi Garcia, like, good. It's definitely not going to make Nick good. It'll make Leiter more solid and Pearson, like, more so solid. I mean, it's probably like an 8. It's probably like an 8. Like, it's cool, and it boosts some really good cards, but is this team better than, you know, you running Gil Hodges at first base and just, like, a second baseman that isn't going to cost you defensively, and then, you know, just a better defensive outfield in general? No. But, I mean, I do like it. I think it's probably one of the better team boosts. But, you know, if you could combine it with Holiday, I think you'd be cooking. All right, next team, we got Clutch here. Trying to add Leiter when he hits World Series. Still figuring out righties in the bullpen. Aren't we all? All right, so lineup wise, oh yeah, we got God Squad. God Squad. So 3 lefties, 1 permanent, or 3 righties. So probably not as many switch hitters as you'd really like. But yeah, I mean, I think the only questionable inclusions here are like your outfield's gonna be bad defensively, just because, you know, Buxton's not gonna be awesome. Bryce Harper's going to be bad, and you're just really relying on Beltran to do a lot of the heavy lifting in the outfield. But I mean, if you hit with these cards, can't really argue with it. I think the only 2 that you have in here that I probably wouldn't touch is like Schwarber and Roland, because Schwarber just feels like he doesn't have the sauce, to me anyway. And then Scott is Scott. Like, I just think there's better options you could go with. All right, so he included his structure. Let's see. Let's just look at the staff. Okay. Here it is. All right, so we've got Clemens, John, Pearson. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, you said you're going to add Leiter. I don't know if you're adding him for May or Pearson, but you do that, and, you know, it's pretty much the best staff in the game. Again, you could say he's missing Randy. Some people will feel that he is. Some people won't. Randy's kind of a divisive subject this year. Then the bullpen, you said you're struggling with the righties. I mean, it's the usual suspects. Other than the obvious, I don't think you need me to beat you over the head with that. I think you know that he's not here. But, I mean, Felix Bautista. He's going to be better than Dennis. Going to be better than Loizaga. Going to be better than Joyce. Going to be better than, you know, pretty much all of these guys. So I think Felix is your biggest missing piece. You have pretty much every other card in the game. So I think you are doing fine. You're not using, I guess you've got PCA for like a late game defensive sub, and same for Diego because he can play like every single position. I just don't know where you would ever put Diego. Second base, catcher, and then what? What if the defensive sub doesn't work? Then you're just stuck with like a 70 contact card late in the game on like Hall of Famer legend. So it feels pointless. I'd rather just run like a team boost, like maybe like the Dodgers or something. I don't know, but I mean that's a 10 out of 10 squad. Like there's stuff he could do differently, and he's missing Felix Bautista, but I don't think that takes away from the squad just being crazy. All right, so next guy, we've got Ryan here. Loves the vids, 50K stubs. I don't know how relevant that's going to be because he updated it. I'm getting ready for the collection. All right, rotation lineup. Well, rotation, you didn't include your rank, so I have no idea where you're at. But if you're on Hall of Fame, I'd probably be off of Jordan Zimmerman at this point. And then I think Hobie's pretty dated. I'm not a big fan of Shrine or Gagne, but if you're not willing to go out of your way and splurge, then there's ultimately nothing wrong with them. Oh, okay, so your lineup's definitely the strongest part of your team. So no Harper, but you know, some people prefer Wood over Harper. Harper has, I don't really know who I would compare his lefty swing to. It's almost like Corbin Carroll. It's low-key almost like Corbin Carroll. So if you like Corbin Carroll's swing, you'll like Harper's swing. James Wood's more like an Adam Dunn type swing where it's really loopy, but not slow by any means. So some people will just prefer that. Schwarber, I mean, the lineup is, how many lefties is that actually? 3? 3's borderline. I'd probably like 2 at the most right now, but I mean, if you hit good lefty, then you know, no problem with 3. That's pretty much 10 out of 10 lineup. 10 out of 10 lineup. Probably 8.5 on the rotation because I just don't really like Zimmerman at this point. Like this Zimmerman needs to be super fractured, and you need to have a ridiculously low ERA to justify him to me at this point. And then he includes lineup structure, so we'll go over it. I would pose the question to you of what is James Wood doing for you if he's batting 9th? Because if he's not really tearing the cover off the ball to where you don't feel the need to promote him in your lineup, like I get it. Like at a certain point, having a God squad, like sometimes you just feel like, you know, you've got your top 3 here, and then after that it's like everybody hits like pretty good after that. But usually you got some weaker links. So if Wood or Buxton's one of those weak links, like you might as well swap them out. Might as well have Jason Dominguez in left, and you know, just run like Corbin Carroll in right and get way better defense. But it's ultimately up to you. I think this is, bullpen sucks. Bullpen's probably like an 8. 7.5? 7.5. I'm gonna go 7.5 because I don't like Hader, don't like Milner, don't like Trinan, don't really love Gagne, but he can be effective. And I don't love Zimmerman. So I think all that's probably like an 8.5. And then the lineup's probably a 10. Where it's just kind of opinion based on the differences. Like I can't point to this lineup and be like, you should not be running Scott Rowland. But it's just all preference at that point. So I think the lineup's a 10. Everything else is cool. I think it lands you at a 9 or a 9.5, where a lot of the stuff's pretty easily fixed. All right, so next up we got Tyler. We love a good TV team. Bro got the oh no, it's a monitor. He's just close up to it. So rotation wise, do not like Jack Leiter. See a lot of Leiter. I think he's just shocking. I think he's terrible. So I'd probably look to find somebody else. Maybe you're rolling with them. Pitching's so subjective that like if you're doing good, whatever. Lineup wise, Jeter out position's crazy. I don't really get the rationale with that. I would probably just swap him and Bo Bichette because Jeter's just going to be a better defensive shortstop, and Bo's going to be a liability wherever you put him. So I'd probably just swap them. Unless there's some like crazy rationale I'm not thinking of, like Bo starts at 65 fielding and Jeter can't upgrade. But even then, I would think Jeter would be better defensively. Yeah, this defensive outfield's bad, but I mean it's some really good bats. How many lefties is that? 2, 3, 4. Oof. Yeah. So when you tell me to give you a lineup structure and you got 4 lefties, there's not gonna be an awesome answer for you. So you got up to 830 rated. Oh, you just cramming them in there. Okay. And it doesn't look like you're platooning any of them. So that's not awesome. Yeah, you got the type of team that would drive me up a wall. Like if you caught me starting Dustin May or Nate Pearson or like God forbid Jordan Zimmerman at this point, they would be gone by the 3rd inning. It would be a bullpen game for me. Because I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with 3 lefties in a row and 4 in the lineup. I mean, you should be splitting up your lefties more, and since you have 4 of them, one of them has to lead off, but none of them are fast, so you're not gonna have a traditional leadoff. The way you have your lineup is the way it's going to probably have to be when you've got this many. Like you can move like Yasmani up or something to like split them up a little more, but when you've got this many lefties crammed in your lineup, that's pretty much it's going to be all or nothing. You're gonna see, John Donaldson and get no hit other than like Bo Bichette might hit him, or maybe Derek Jeter will do something to him, or you're gonna see Jordan Zimmerman and these 3 will just hit 3 home runs in a row, and that's the lineup you're going with. So I think you got to get some lefties out of there. I think the lineup's actually really good. It's just like you're going to get punished by lefty starters, and there's too many good lefty starters. So lighter, not ideal. This probably makes this like an 8.5 rotation. I didn't. Okay, he did include his bullpen. Oh my. Yeah, so it's Brian Brady's trash. Other than that, it's fine. One, no, it's not fine. It's not fine. This is not fine. Okay, it's crazy you're 830 rated. You could be a lot higher if you would, iron out some of this stuff. You need more lefties in your bullpen. Like you're trolling. Like you're actually trolling. Got to get some lefties in there, and a prime candidate to kick out would be Brian Abreu. Get him out. Get Trinan out, or Santana. Trinan or Santana should go. And you gotta find some more lefties you like. I don't know. John Franco's probably one of them. The other one, like it's really up to you. Like there's a lot of people like Hader. I think he's terrible. I'd probably go for the new Threads Chapman, but a lot of thoughts going around. I'm not even gonna put a rating on this team because some people will sit here and see this as like a 10 out of 10 team and they don't have an issue with you running this many lefties. I think you're just gambling. I think you're turning every game into a coin flip. All right, next up we got Darius. Find any ways to help make my team better. I have 180k. Okay, any changes for 180k? No. Probably not. No. So you're trolling. This man right here should be at second base. This is the best defensive second baseman in the game, and you are purposely running somebody worse at second base. So that's all I would change in the starting lineup. Like other than you having like Beltran or one of these top end cards, like won't worry about it. Lineup structure. Also trolling. You do not pay $350K for Willie Castro to bat him fifth. Get him towards the top. He's not traditional leadoff. I would probably go like Corbin Carroll and then Willie Castro, and then kind of structure your best hitters through the rest of your lineup. Santana batting ninth is sacrilegious as well, I will say. So I don't know. Judging from like the parallels and running Roberts at second over Marte, I feel like you're just a plug and play guy, and this has probably been your lineup structure for like the last 2 weeks. So think about it, move it around, adjust to how you're hitting with these cards. Did I go over his starting staff? I did not, because I do not remember Johnny Cueto. Man, I'm not mad at it. I don't think you include your rating. You didn't, so I have no idea where you're at. I mean, if this Johnny Cueto is going out there on Legend, I don't hate it. If he's going out there on Hall of Fame, I don't love it. And if he's going out there on All-Star, then like I want to vomit right now. So take that into account. Nate Pearson's probably just going to be better in every single regard for 20K, other than the fact that he does not have a cutter. So if the cutter is the stipulation there, then whatever. But I mean, I don't think it is, because Dustin May is your only other starter with a cutter. The bullpen will tell us all we need to know. Cutter. 3 cutter guys is a good amount. It is probably more than your typical bullpen, but it's also just 3 really good cards that you could just be running just because they're good. This is a really good bullpen. I don't hate this bullpen. I don't love Ben Joyce. I don't love Josh Hader. But other than that, I mess with the bullpen. The bullpen's pretty good. Include his bench is what it is. I mean, this lineup's probably an 8.5, 9, something like that. It feels weird to give out a 9 without Beltran, but I feel like this is as good as you're gonna do without Beltran. Bullpen. I mean, his bullpen's like a 10, honestly. Like, this is basically as good as you're gonna get, minus Felix Bautista. So, you could make the argument that Felix bumps a bullpen from a 9 to a 10. I'll probably be nice and meet in the middle and go like 9.5, where, I mean, I like it. I don't mind it. I just think your lineup structure and like some of your decisions, like Ketel Marte playing DH, is kind of trolling. Okay, I'm going to cherry pick a couple for our last few, and we're going to try to hit an hour right on the head. So we've got Caleb here. First year, content's been helpful and informative. Glad it has been. Hovering over 600, hoping to make the push to Hall of Fame. A lot of Blue Jays, low on stubs. Okay, bullpens. There's not a ton of great suggestions. Cool. Honestly, no problems with the lineup, especially on the difficulty you're on. I think Bernie Williams, if you're full timing him, is kind of crazy, just because he has no power against righties. So I'd probably be looking for a new left fielder. But off the top of my head, James Wood, I guess. You don't really have any lefties. Like, I guess you've got 2, but you can live with 3. What I would do is probably just platoon Wood and Bernie and left. Start Wood probably, and then if it's a lefty starter, then you put in Bernie to play the rest of the game. Is how I would do it. Pedro. So some people like him. A lot of people think he's trash. I think it has its arguments. Nate Pearson's probably like a 97 overall on Blue Jays team. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, you're not missing anybody. Like, you're missing Clemens, you're missing Randy, maybe, but for the most part, this is as good as you're gonna do, rotation wise. Bullpen sucks. I don't love Hoffman. I think Dennis Santana's pretty trash. And I don't like Tanner Scott. So I think 3 bad apples kind of sours the whole bullpen for me. But you got some good pieces, like Kopech's good, Luke Weaver's good, the new Devin Williams is good, Ben Joyce can be good, Aroldis Chapman can be good. I think just some of these guys are just mid. So Hoffman, you're living with that because you're running the Blue Jays boost, and at least he's getting +7 hits. Santana and Scott, I'd probably look other directions on. You said you need help with lefties. You got to find another lefty. So probably replace Scott with the lefty, and then, Dennis Santana with another lefty. Unfortunately, I don't have that many great names for you. I think John Franco's like the most consistent one you can go out and get. So knock out the Mets team affinity. Shouldn't be too hard at this point. All right, so next up we got Cameron, and now I think I'm gonna do one more because I saw like another new player, and it's always good to give the new players advice. It's Cameron. Huh? All right. Would like to know who to grind for and replace. Bullpen's outdated. Has a new Danny. All right, neat. Okay, so like when I see the gold one. Okay, so start 9. Hold up. Or actually, I can just click this. Don't like Springer as a center fielder. Swap him and Corbin Carroll. Bang, instantly better. Lineup's not bad. I mean, it depends on like your division and your rating, how I feel about a lot of these cards. Like on All-Stars, Delgado, probably a top 5 first baseman. Yeah. Would I be running him on Hall of Fame and Legend, knowing that he's going to see a lot of lefty at-bats? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's nothing like crazy. Let's see. Satchel Paige is trash. Satchel Paige is trash. So we have another Pearson, or another Hoffman boost enjoyer. Satchel's trash. I tried to find somebody else. I don't really have a great answer. Oh, John. Like, you have Satchel, and like, go run your storylines, run your showdown, go get John. That's what you should be grinding. You want to know what to grind? That's what you should be grinding. Brendan Little's probably troll. What's your bench? Did you include your bench? Oh, we leaked because I was looking for the bench. He did include his bench. So this got to be like tier 2 of the Blue Jays team, right? Gotta be. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's worth you running tier 2, to be honest, because this bullpen's like wrecked because of it. Like Emi, I don't think is great, and Brendan Little's definitely not. He is a lefty, and I think he is kind of janky, so maybe you can live with it. I think you're missing like the topping guys. You have Danny. I think, if you could get Devin Williams, I'd probably go that route. I don't know if I would advise you to sink like 80K into Felix, but that's probably what I would do with the team. But overall, really solid. Probably like an 8.5. Depends on the difficulty that you're on, but nothing wrong with the team. Would definitely prioritize going out and like getting John. All right, so next one we've got Jack here. He said he clickbaited his submission. He said 10 out of 10 squad, so we'll see if it's 10 out of 10. Mostly on Legend, doesn't like GOAT, so it's a pretty good player. Doesn't spend money. He plays a disgusting amount. Bullpen tips, Andrew Miller, Bautista, hit tanks. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good description. All right, let's see. So we get sideways. So we'll be quick about this one and try to fit in like one more team review. I mean, lineup's pretty much the best unless you want like, lighter or pitching rotation. It's always fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm over the Scott Rowland train personally, but if you're still on it, then it's fine. And then okay, this is a W bench usage actually. This flexes 1,000 players. Don't hate that. So you took Mickey, huh? That's interesting. I wish I could got the chipper, bro. Would have been nice. I mean, he's got Danny. He's got Dev. If you have a million subs, I don't know why you don't have Felix, because like he's going to be better than Liziga and better than Ottavino, and then depending on how situationally you're using them, he'll probably be better than Fingers and O'Day. It just, you gotta read kind of your opponent. Then we got lineup structure. Buxton second's crazy. I need the sauce with Buxton. Billy Castro 5th again, bro. You did not pay $350K for that card to buy him 5th. I know you didn't. I mean, I think he should be batting second all day. I can't fathom that you hit that much better with Byron Buxton than a switch hitter with max contact. That's also pretty fast. So that's probably something I would change. But yeah, I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 squad, obviously. All right, and the last one we're going to be doing is a BMAC here. So, what's good? Dog. See, dog. I've been called dog before. Never big dog. Big dog's like crazy. First year player. Enjoy the content. Needs Otani and Judge. If that happens. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. S or X. Okay. So what, you're looking to make the switch from PlayStation? I play on an X, I play on a brick. So I don't think it matters a ton. Like, you'll get less dread lag and stuff, but it doesn't ultimately matter that much. The game gets 120 hertz on both now. So it's really whatever makes more sense for you. All right, let's see. Lineup wise, we've got, okay, this is a little different. So live series Jordan, not my favorite. I imagine you probably platoon him with J Ram or Jose, though, whoever's more disgusting against lefties that day. I'd be curious to see what you do with Jason. I assume he's like platoon as well with either Wood or Buxton, right? But if you platoon him with Buxton, he's going to be god awful and right. And if you platoon him with Wood, then he also I think Wood hits righties better and he hits lefties better than Jason. So maybe you just have him on your bench because you used to use them and you just are keeping them there. But lineup wise, pretty good. Like, I think Junior's a little questionable. I think still running this Jordan at this point is a little questionable. Just because you could have the other one that's just more consistently up. But, it's kind of up to you. And if you platoon him with J-Ram, I guess there's really no issue. Structure's pretty good other than back-to-back lefties, but I assume you platoon. So if you're platooning, there's nothing wrong with it. But they'll never be back-to-back unless they're against a righty, so it won't matter. Santana 8th again, bro. Y'all really aren't hitting with Carlos, huh? That's crazy. I wonder if it's the quirks. That's crazy. I think, woo is pretty woo. I don't think I would be running him at this point, and obviously you would like to upgrade the lighter, so that'll happen eventually. And then upgrading Danny probably would have been made sense. I don't know if he's rebounded. Sure, we can do that, I guess. Let's go ahead and just do that real quick. So he's 22K. Yeah, for 22K, like, upgrade your Danny. Just get the way better pitching clutch and the way better control. And I think that's the most realistic stuff for you to do. On a relative budget, obviously you want to save most of your stubs for Otani and Judge, but pretty solid all-around team. Is it a 9? No, because of Mr. Wu here. Probably like an 8, 8.5. Pretty good team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Sorry to everybody that we missed. It's tough. I always try to, we went for like an extra 10 minutes to try to get more people in. So I think we only ended up missing like 5, 6, something like that, which is less than what it has been. So if you didn't get in this episode, just submit for next one, and there should be a pretty good chance that you get in. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, all that. Till next time. Peace.